I get asked this question quite a lot. How do I lose body fat so easily with pretty much no effort? And I have a pretty unhealthy diet where I eat McDonald's and snacks and stuff pretty much every day. The way I do this is by something called intermittent fasting. The simplest way I can give you a guide on like how to lose body fat very easily is this: wake up on a fresh new day, delay eating any calories for a certain amount of hours. So you choose the hours of how far you can go. Essentially, it's like almost like a little challenge. Instead of waking up at 7 and eating breakfast, or going to work or school and buying some random shit there like chocolate bar or something, which has calories in, completely delay that. Have nothing in the morning that has calories. Literally just have water. That's it. Just water. Just for a few hours. You choose the hours. Then you break your fast breakfast at a later time than you would have now. That is it. That is the guide of losing fat. It's literally that simple. It's just delaying eating anything for a couple of hours. Pot research shows that this is quite a research area, and it's amazing how simple this fat loss is. Like people who had a 300 calorie breakfast, so that's quite a big bowl of cereal or something, two slices with eggs. People who had 300 calories for breakfast or had no breakfast still weighed roughly the same amount at lunch. So the people who had the 300 calories at breakfast literally just put on those calories almost for no reason. So people who had breakfast in the morning, they actually had roughly the same level of hungriness as the people who didn't even have breakfast at lunchtime. So in the study I've put, they roughly had the same amount of calories. That's insane. That they've just wasted 300 and something calories in the morning. Now it goes even bigger. If you have a bigger breakfast in the morning, so 624 calories. So for a reference, if you don't know, that's like much of a big plate full of English. Maybe less than a full English. Maybe like half kind of two slices with butter, with bacon and avocado, and two eggs. It'd be roughly 600 calories. People who had that were significantly more hungry and ate significantly more lunch. So that's insane. You would have thought it would be the opposite way around. You would have thought that people who had a bigger breakfast would have a lesser lunch because they just had a big breakfast. It's the opposite. Breaking your fast. Get your body ready to eat. You're not supposed to eat small meals throughout the day. We never have, like, I'll make more videos into this in the future because I'll fully get into the conspiracy theories and like how our human sort of diets has been manipulated by companies like Kellogg's. Breakfast has never been a thing in our lives for it to be in the morning. It's break fast. You're supposed to break your fast after you just went on a hunt and you've got a big meal in front of you that you're gonna be eating a massive meal later on in the day. Humans have never woken up and had breakfast there, and then we've never had that before in the last 100 years. And in the last 100 years is when we've had the biggest problems with our diet, with our health, with obesity. You've got to understand we have to go back to our original roots. So the simple practical guide on this. So I'll try to explain it as simple as possible. Calories are in most things. So for example, tea has no calories because it's mostly just water and a tea bag. Now if you put in milk, milk has calories. So for the purpose of this, if you're trying to lose body fat with very low efforts, you can't even have things like tea with milk or coffee with milk. Obviously, you could have just coffee and maybe a sweetener, but no sugar because that's got calories with sweeteners, docs. So it's about essentially not breaking your fast, not eating any calories, just delaying them for a few hours. And from the research, you end up eating the same amount as if you have got to eat breakfast. Anyway, and if you have someone who eats a big breakfast because you wake up and you're hungry, you need to rewire your brain because you're in the wrong pathway. As this research shows, if you're one of the people who needs a big breakfast when you wake up because you're so hungry, you are also more likely to be hungry throughout the day. It's unlikely that someone will wake up, have a big breakfast, and then be satisfied for the rest of the day. Obviously not, but it's very likely that someone who, for example, didn't eat the breakfast was like, he was quite a busy day, like they have quite a big meal at like 4 p.m. Honestly, if you've been in the situation with done this random situation where if you didn't eat much throughout the day, then you had a big meal later on in the day, you'll find that you were pretty full when you did that. You didn't eat all day, you had one meal quite late than you'd ever had before. And after that meal, you were full because that's what it's supposed to be. That's what breaking your fast is supposed to be. You are not supposed to break your fast in the morning and then also eat a few hours later and then a few hours later. The important thing with this is to make sure that you don't make up for the skip from the breakfast. Later on, quite a few people like do this, where they won't have breakfast at their own place, but they will go and get like a chocolate bar in the morning at lunch, or do you know what I mean? Like, is to skip all that. So skip the actual meal in the morning, skip the drink or whatever has 50 calories that you are gonna have, and literally just start your eating at lunchtime and then eat what you want. This is the beauty of this intermittent fasting. And I keep saying this all the time. I eat whatever I want. And my diet is so unhealthy and so bad, but I can control my body fat with this technique. It's like one simple trick to control body fat kind of thing. I know it sounds very clickbaity, but honestly, it is that good. I haven't tracked. If you're quite into fitness, you know how important it is to actually tracking your food. I haven't done that for years. I've been able to control my body fat. I've been able to bulk when I want, increase my body fat and my muscle mass, and then cut when I want to reduce my body fat and still maintain my muscle without actually tracking and weighting my food, just by implementing this technique in the morning.